when we kick things off.
Of course, that Murad ban being banned away against GameTV, we did see just how strong they are when they do pick it up. So Team CL just don't even want to deal with it. They're like, cool, ban.
Okay, so it's interesting that Team CL just don't want to risk it at all. It's unusual because typically you see that these teams have been letting Murad through, but there's not enough priority on it.
Zill being banned as well. Violet is going to be banned away. And there's the instant lock-in for L'Oreal as first pick as well.
Yeah, GameTV opted to ban out the Zenial as well. They didn't want that high-powered Roma, and we talked about the priority of L'Oreal, this high mobility mage, high damage dealing, and it's played by a lot of the players in this matchup.
And this is a very fast pick ban so far. Ormar and Ryoma almost instantly locked in as well. Malok being hovered as well as potentially a brawly top laner.
Yeah, so with the Ryoma, we talked about how if Penguin can get his hands on it, it's very impactful. Not just because it's a comfort pick, but Ryoma is generally regarded one of the best off-rollers there are. And it forced GameTV to make the choice between Ormar or Malok. And they've gone for the Ormar with this one, so they're going to allow the Malok to go over to the side of Team CL. Then picking up our area as well. A little bit of CC in there, all around good damage dealer. You can put that in an off roll, in an off lane if you want to. Doesn't really surprise me that they're opting to pick these stronger picks earlier on into the draft.
They don't need to prioritize the Ras here. They can get their hands on something else, so they're going to re-hover Slims and Zephys getting locked in.
Yeah, so same story with Zephys, all-around damage dealer. The Slims there, we've correctly identified in previous games. It's there to shred through tanks. The percentage HP damage he's able to get off is fantastic. We're looking around out the composition for Team CL.
Wow, that's Alice and Moran being locked in. That's Moran, we've seen him once so far. And Alice
it's the Day 5 composition, the L'Oreal Alice combo coming out again. Day 5 weren't necessarily able to pull it off as effective as they would have liked to because they fell too far behind in the early game. Hopefully, having the Moran in there could compensate for the early game damage, being able to keep the pressure in the lanes and keep them pushed. And of course, you got Ari and Malok, who can be quite strong in the early game.
The Slims as well, looking to shred tanks, but I'm looking at the TCL team and I'm only seeing one tank.
Yeah, that's very correct. Malok will be the primary tank of this lineup. Aerie, it has quite a lot of durability behind her. It's not, yes, she does go more damage orientated, but it's not as if it's like you've got another marksman on the field. So the Slims pick, going to be able to shred through Malok, but Slims does a lot of damage, and he has that long-range CC. It's going to be potent because what they're going to need to do in this game is they've seen how teams have taken down Day 5 is take out the squishy Alice. And if Alice mispositions, Slims can then get the CC onto him and shut him down. And one thing we didn't talk about, as you correctly predicted, Raz there being the final pick for GameTV.
Yeah, once you see the L'Oreal being locked in, you can just wait and leave Raz to your last pick. I mean, there's no point because they're not going to pick both.
Exactly, so it allows you to prioritize more of these more impactful picks around the map. I really like that Team CL are playing the Alice L'Oreal comp. We've only seen Day 5 do it, and like we said, Day 5 just fall behind too much in the early game. It'll be interesting to see if CL can make that adaptation, keep up with the level of play, and have that composition switch online so we can see its pure strength.
The Zilban as well as Murad, they fulfill a very similar role, so they obviously just don't want to go against those assassin jungling style of hero. But we are going to be getting underway with game number 1, GameTV versus Team CL. Will the Vietnamese teams be able to crush out the Korean competition, or will they be able to avenge their brethren? Team CL looking to do just that with an early engage in the river over on the top side of the map as damage going back and forth. Pew takes the brunt of it on that Moran. XP trying to zone out Khan into the Darkslayer pit. There we go, they are just going to fall it on back. Ryoma with the stun onto Khan, trying to chase it on as well, but only level 1. You've only got one ability. That's the base.
Well, he opted to go for that stun first, so gets himself that action to shut down the chase on Khan. We're going to put Zephys in the lane against Malok, so they're opting to put both the typical players we've seen in the off-roll in the side lanes. They're both getting the equal amounts of farm, and they're allowing Moran to take that jungle farm, and they're keeping Alice for the time being around this mid lane. So I'm expecting a lot of attention to try and put L'Oreal behind.
Oh, there's the stun onto Raz, and he has flinging forwards as well, getting a little bit of damage down, but he's going to burn the flicker and get away with that one. Trades going off in the side lanes, but nothing to get too antsy about.
So they saw Zephys go aggressive onto Malok, and then when he started to back off because he wasn't going to commit to the dive, that's when you saw a U-turn by the L'Oreal Alice combo. They were getting in position and being proactive, ready to go and reinforce Malok in that bottom lane. Now Alice is just hovering, so they're not sure where they want to go with this one. It's a bit of a weird situation because they don't know where she wants to go, who needs the most support. I'd say L'Oreal, because Moron's going to be quite safe in that jungle.
Grouping around the top lane is GameTV, but grouping around the bot lane is Team CL, and they're actually going to back Henry off. He was taken down to almost a sliver of health, nearly went down, but did manage to get away. We didn't quite see that one, but Spirit Sentinel being started by GameTV. We'll spot out the Abyssal Dragon being started on the flip side by Team CL, but the rest of the team's going to start to weigh in. Abyssal Dragon's very low. Will GameTV be able to get there in time? Who's going to claim the victory? But KS is going to go down first. Didn't quite see. Oh, it's Team CL to pick up the Abyssal Dragon. They're going to continue the fight, though, trying to trade it back. There's one kill. Pro will fall, pushing it in as GameTV are able to go for the reversal. Now it's going to be Team CL just backing off. And that was a lovely brawl coming out from GameTV. Team CL just about able to close out the Abyssal Dragon.
So, Team CL started off the Dragon. We talked about how they stacked on opposite sides of the map. TCL on the right side of the map for that engagement. They get control of the Abyssal Dragon area. They secure it early. Now, when the fight comes into play, that was all about PS Man. Multi-man stun, multi-man AoE from the 1,000 stabs. He was peppering TCL from a perfect angle when they were trying to both come into the fight, and then when they were both trying to retreat, he attacked them from the side. I guarantee you he dealt the most amount of damage in that fight.
There's 1,000 more stabs and a whole hell of a lot of damage onto Khan. He's going to back off under turret. Luckily, mobile enough to escape from that one. Did have a lot of the GameTV squad behind him as well, so if he was caught out a little bit more, and maybe a little bit more bother, but has to base again. This is like the second or third time that Khan's been forced back to base.
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit against the Ryoma, and this is why there's so much priority on him. Damage he's able to output. He's one of the most competent laners in the game. As we see a 4-man stack on the top side, they're really hammering home the fact that they do not want Khan to be awake in this game.
Henry surviving solo under that turret for now. It's the same story in the top lane as once more we see the GameTV group up top, and once more we see Team CL group down on the bottom side of the map. Those turrets getting pressured in.
Well, the whole reason why GameTV keep doing this, they go into the top lane to make sure there's no pressure in the top wave in case they try to go for the split push while the Abyssal Dragon is happening. At the same time, they take the top lane tower, they go down.
They're chasing onto Henry as he once more gets dived in the bot lane. They're trading turrets and they're backing them off, and Henry again taken very low. He's going to allow that Abyssal Dragon to be started up by CL.
And again, it's mirrored on the opposite side of the map, and they're going to get an inner for this, whereas they're just going to trade it off for the Abyssal Dragon on the bot side, but KS comes in with the save. Meanwhile, the Abyssal Dragon is secured by TCL.
Of course, remember, we do have the scalability on Team CL L'Oreal, so the archetypal late-game mage able to pump out enough damage to essentially wipe your entire team if you leave her alone, and with the combo of the Alice having that magic shred will be very impactful.
That was a really opportunistic play by GameTV. I imagine the original plan was to go to that top lane, put pressure on the area to stop a split push happening while the Abyssal Dragon was going on. They rotate round to Sentinel and then down to the Dragon in time to contest for it. But instead, they saw that there was a huge committal at diving the tower instead of hitting the Abyssal Dragon early, which bought them more time to push further in the top lane. So they took the tower, they were looking for the inner as well, and they weren't in a rush to get to the Abyssal Dragon. However, they decided the inner tower was going to be a sufficient trade to allow that Abyssal Dragon to go over to Team CL.
They didn't get it though. They weren't quite able to capitalize this. Yeah.
That was purely because of KS. So the plan was, and it was looking very good for them, and they're looking very high to be able to do it.
Over in the top side, we've got Slims getting caught out slightly in the jungle, but able to get the stun off onto KS. Gives GameTV enough time to rotate the rest of their players in and try and get something else. The stun trying to come out from PS Man, but will get stunned up in return. There's Henry as well, getting the knock up. There's the AoE stun from Pro on that Orma as TCL now wade into the fray. It's Pro low on the back line, but not going to be able to trade one back in return. 2 full. Penguin on that Malok is just going to be devastating with a double kill, finding yet another to back them up. L'Oreal will be able to find 1 kill and plenty of assists to boot, and they're just going to push in this mid turret. TCL with a very nice engage.
So, forcing out Slims in the early game of that fight, basically you saw that the Hissy Fit was used in combination with L'Oreal to force out Slims. Now, usually I'd say that wasn't a very good trade. Probably should have saved it for a little bit more of effect with an AOE scenario where there's multiple members to hit. However, Slims being taken off the board was enough because the team was so separated from GameTV, you wouldn't have been able to land the Hissy Fit on all of them anyway. And because they were spread out, you had the mobility heroes like Airy coming in, Morin with the attack speed reset and the attack speed buff, you can get on that, just peppering them from the sides.
Oh, there's the ultimate getting dropped down by Morin, but it's out of position. He's just going to have to rely on his damage, but he's got plenty. He is going to jump onto PS Man under turret, get the first kill. Slims will back him off. And that is going to be a nice pickup for Team CL.
So that is the strength of Morin to play. The constant reset on that attack speed steroid, and Henry's going to need to be careful here, but I'm sure he can get out. Meanwhile, in the top lane.
Another dive coming in. Pew backs off from underneath the turret. The stun onto KS. There's another ult from Morin as well, but it's not going to find anything, just zoning that Raz off the fight. They are going to back off and still just pressure onto this top turret.
That ultimate saved KS. Yes, typically you would endure when you take tower aggro on the basis that a wave is in position for you to go, for that to take the aggro instead, and you can just walk away because you just won't damage the hero. There's no wave in position, so the aggro resets onto L'Oreal. And if Raz goes in and fully commits to that attack, he will get the kill. So, Morin dropping that ultimate, zoning him off with it, was absolutely crucial to keeping KS alive in that engagement.
Penguin has two players on the flank. Pro not actually showing, so maybe trying to bait in the duel against PS Man and then wading in with the stun and trying to get something there. Abyssal Dragon still not taken. It's been up for a while now, which is interesting. Neither team has sort of really prioritized it, but it looks like they're going to do just that now as CL position for it.
Just going to allow Khan to put a little bit of pressure on this top wave. Needs to be cautious because that inner is so close to going down. If that's left unattended for too long, it will cost Team CL dearly. Now, the reason neither team can either commit to the Abyssal Dragon just yet is the lack of information. So many members are hidden in the jungle. I think Morin has started the fight on that dragon already. He's pulled it out, and I don't think GameTV know it's been started just yet, but they have to assume it has because they're being forced back by the lineup of TCL.
The stun spear from Slim's not quite landing, and that is just going to be another Abyssal Dragon going in for TCL. Penguin just facing off against two. There's the ultimate coming in, and Alice as well with the speed up. That is going to be a lot of damage going over onto Slim's. Penguin picks up the kill. The knockup's coming through from Raz, but he is in a little bit of hot water there as he does go down as well. Henry and Pro are going to go low, and that's going to be the kill onto Ormar.
I absolutely love that, because typically you'll find that you get the Alice comboing with the L'Oreal. There we saw the Alice Malok. And why that works is it's not as if you can empower Malok's abilities with that. It's all about the fact that you speed yourself up with the shield. You get into range, you then drop the Hissy Fits. There's no attempt for them to use mobility spells to get away. Malok guarantees the knock-up, and then you have the reinforcements while they're taking damage over time from the Hissy Fit to secure the kill. After that, they got the kill, they forced them away from the tower. It's just a chase down at that point by the Malok, by the L'Oreal, and Airy.
A very nice combo indeed, and they pull it off with grace and style, turning their attention now to the Spirit Sentinel. GameTV trying to push him, but it's already gone, my friends, and you're going to find yourself some enemy heroes to deal with. Pro has to back off. Raz tries to flee around the side, but it's Pro in most of the danger as Pew finally picks up a kill into this goal, picks up the kill into this game, the third so far in this match.
Yeah, you just saw the power of Hissy Fit there with the magic resistant shred, the silence to stop the engagement. He was able to dash out of it, but the hot pursuit from the mobility of KS was too much for him to get away. Follow up with a stun from Kerry. There's no way he's going to get away from that. Ormar should be the person face checking the bush, but if he can't do that, then what hope do you have for scouting and vision control in this matchup?
Yeah, very standard ultimate there. We've seen that quite a lot of Malok just ulting behind their turret, zoning the enemy team away. They can't afford to push through that, and in the meantime, the turrets just fall. They find another one in the top lane, and they are really starting to push this one to the end of the game. 10 minutes on the clock, and they're already staring at these high ground turrets.
So hyper-aggressive ultimates like the Malok initiation are there to force a fight or flight instinct from the enemy team. Now GameTV have identified they're not winning the fights at the moment, so they can't fight. They have to fly away, and it just makes them concede objectives. And TCL, they know the advantage they have in this game, and they're opting to kick off the Dark Slayer.
Maybe trying to bait GameTV to go down towards the Abyssal Dragon, but no, they know what's up, but it's a little bit too late for that. The Dark Slayer gets picked up, and Penguin is already in the face of three. That's zoning it off. Khan in the bot lane will challenge on Henry, go for the dive and almost go down, but dashes away over the wall. The fight is raining on in the mid lane, however. Nobody, two players did go down in that brawl as we saw Khan go for the dive over towards the bottom side of the map.
So TCL there, they use Malok positioning with that ultimate to cut off the easiest point of retreat for GameTV, so they have to go into the knockup or stay in the area to take damage from TCL, who have been empowered by that 30% damage increase. They wipe the fight while the side lane gets advantage in their favor, and now they push into the base. They've got players at the outer towers, and they just can't do it.
There's no way that GameTV can stop that one. Team CL with a very quick, nice game. They will take that 1-0 lead into this best-of-3 series. Korea not lost for hope just yet.
Rock, paper, scissors.
We said it before. It's a very good comparison.
Well, that's only game one.
Yeah.
It's only game one.
Game one.
And we need to see how they're going to shape up moving into the rest of the series. But there, we saw the strength of having the Alice in there with the L'Oreal shredding the fight. But more importantly, we saw how they were using Alice to set up the initiation rather than being the initiator herself.
Exactly. That Malok obviously such a strong initiator, which is what you see why it's such a prioritized pick. You can zone off people from turrets. You can go for those long-range engages and just jump out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, they're at a disadvantage and they're on the back foot, and that can cause teams to panic and really allow you to open up the cracks and exploit what you can find. So, beautiful play coming out from Team CL to take home the victory against GameTV. The onus now on GameTV to adjust something into this next game. Is it going to be the draft? Is it going to be their strategy?
I think it's going to be the draft, and I think you need to be a little bit more mindful of the Alice. Now, both of them